Welcome, everyone, to the Foundry by Forge College. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide for today's explainer. We're currently making our way through the deploying on Solana track, specifically diving right into the capstone project on developing Solana deployment scripts. And today we're tackling a topic that is absolutely crucial: documenting and automating your script usage. Okay, be honest. Have you ever opened up your terminal, stared blankly at a brilliant script you wrote literally just a week ago, and completely panicked because you have no earthly idea how to run it? Well, don't worry. We call this developer amnesia, and it is a completely normal, if slightly terrifying, part of software engineering. You're just staring at your handcrafted code, wondering what parameters it needs, or worse, what's going to explode if you accidentally type the wrong flag. So today, we're going to cure that amnesia. We're taking your manual, stressful scripts and transforming them into a smooth, automated factory assembly line. To pull that off, we need a runbook. Now, if you're new to this term, just think of a runbook as the ultimate instruction manual. It's a precise blueprint mapping a specific script to its required inputs, its expected outputs, and most importantly, its rollback procedures. It is the core document that guarantees your project stays alive and totally operational, even if you, the solo genius developer, suddenly decide to disappear to a tropical island without your laptop. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the engineering blueprint we are going to build today. First, the automation upgrade. Second, writing reliable runbooks. Third, standardizing your README. Fourth, building automated CI workflows. Fifth, validation and smoke tests. And finally, checkpoint and next steps. Let's get to it. Section 1, the automation upgrade. We're moving from hand-cranked tools to conveyor belts. So in our last lesson, you built some raw, hand-cranked deployment scripts. Our main goal today is to upgrade those bad boys. We want to make your Solana deployment scripts highly discoverable, completely repeatable, and fully automated within continuous integration, or CI. Basically, we are taking all that operational knowledge that's currently locked inside your head, and we're stamping it directly into standardized, machine-readable metadata. Section 2, writing reliable runbooks. Documenting the factory floor. For this capstone milestone, every single script template you've built needs a dedicated runbook file, and you'll typically put this in a docs/runbook folder. But here's the catch. This isn't just a plain old text document. Your runbooks actually need to start with machine parsable YAML front matter. This includes things like the script name, the version, the entry point, a flag for CI testing, and its parameters. And why do we do this? Well, this exact machine parsable YAML metadata is what allows our CI automation system to automatically discover exactly which tests to run whenever you update your code. It's literally documentation acting as configuration. Right beneath that YAML header, you'll have your runbook's core components. A one-line purpose, a really clear parameters table showing what's required versus optional, an example command line invocation, and your post conditions, which basically define what success actually looks like. But now, what's really interesting here is the final piece: explicit rollback steps. You have to document exactly how to reverse what your script just did. If your script creates an upgrade authority, for instance, your rollback must specify the exact commands to revoke it. No exceptions. Section 3, standardizing your README. Think of this as the master schematic. You really want to treat the root README of your repository as the master map. It's how both human operators and CI systems navigate your project. A brilliant way to map this all out is by using a blueprint table. It's such a clean way to organize things. You list your script on the left, its purpose, the key parameters it requires, and then you directly link the automated verification check that proves the script actually worked. This perfectly connects a script straight to its parameters and its automated tests. To make sure everything is completely standardized, your README has to include a few key sections: a quick start guide, that exact script mapping table we just talked about, a secret injection guide, and a troubleshooting section that points directly to expected log lines. And please remember, consistency matters immensely here. Why? Because your automation bots are going to literally parse these exact files looking for these exact parameter keys. If things don't match, the bots get confused. Section 4, building automated CI workflows. Time to meet the CI robot bouncer. Okay, so continuous integration, think of it as a strict, unyielding robot bouncer standing right at the door of your main codebase. Before any code is allowed to merge, this bouncer gives your pull requests a really strict security pat-down. Step 1, set up the runtime. Step 2, lint the scripts and the runbook metadata to make sure it's clean. Step 3, execute a dry run deployment using test parameters. Step 4, run smoke checks to ensure everything acts exactly as expected. And finally, Step 5, upload the validation logs as build artifacts so you can actually review them later. Now, in practice, you're actually going to want two distinct workflows here. The PR validation workflow is what we just ran through. It dry runs your code against a safe, ephemeral test environment, kind of like a DevNet. But you also need a post-merge workflow. Once your code passes the bouncer and actually merges into main, this workflow triggers a full automated validation suite, but this time using your real staging parameter sets. Section 5. Validation and smoke tests. Let's make sure all these parts actually fit together. So you might be wondering, how do we pass instructions and secrets to our automated CI robot without accidentally exposing our production keys to the entire world? Secure operations are actually a major focus in the learning programs at Forge College, largely because mishandling secrets is exactly where most beginner deployments fail. The trick is using strict parameter conventions. You absolutely must separate your DevNet and staging parameter files, and these files should only ever contain non-sensitive values. When you do need to reference a private key, you use a placeholder, something like secret::deploy pair wrapped in curly braces. This keeps your repository completely safe. Then, when the CI pipeline runs, it reads that placeholder and securely injects the real secret via GitHub Actions secret or some external key vault. It's a lifesaver. So, the crucial point is this. If you can't roll it back with a documented sequence of commands, you aren't ready to deploy. I want to really hammer that home. Rollbacks must be completely explicit, they have to be testable, and they should require zero guesswork from whoever is operating the system during an emergency. To actually prove those rollbacks and deployments work as intended, we use verification harnesses. These are compact little scripts like verify-deploy.sh, and they are linked directly by your runbook's YAML front matter. They have a few strict rules. First, they must be idempotent, meaning you can run them over and over again without breaking things. Second, they must return a non-zero exit code if they fail. And third, they have to produce a structured JSON artifact that reports their status, details, and logs back to the GitHub Actions workflow. Section 6. Checkpoint and next steps. Welcome to quality assurance. All right, to ensure everything we've built works together cohesively, here is your final checklist to definitively prove your capstone increment is done. Ready? First, run your static discovery script to make sure it actually finds your YAML runbooks. Second, trigger your PR workflow locally using a tool like Act. Third, manually validate those verification harnesses. Fourth, check your artifact linkage. Double-check that the README actually points to the right logs. And fifth, simulate a rollback. Run your rollback commands and watch your verification harnesses confirm that the system safely returned to its previous state. Take a step back and look at what you've done. Are your deployment scripts finally ready for the real world? I'd say absolutely. By transforming those raw, stressful scripts into fully documented, automatable runbooks guarded by a strict CI robot bouncer, you are completely eliminating developer amnesia. You are setting up an operational surface that is robust, professional, and honestly, perfectly setting the stage for our final capstone integration lesson. But remember, the work doesn't stop here. Keep iterating. Your runbooks and your CI workflows are living, breathing parts of your codebase. They are not just dusty documents you write once and forget about. Well, I hope you found this explainer incredibly illuminating. As a reminder, this explainer was brought to you by Forge College. I highly encourage you to head over to forge.college to learn more about this subject and to explore our massive library of Web3 related topics. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.